Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, Manchester United are expected to complete the signing of Jadon Sancho on Friday the 7th of August, and this is according to recent reports. But we are in no rush to sign Jadon Sancho. Now, Borussia Dortmund have already set their deadline for the sale of the player, and they've notified us that we've got until the 10th of August to sign the player. Now, reports came out last week saying that Manchester United had agreed an initial £60 million fee with Borussia Dortmund for Jadon Sancho, and it also mentioned add-ons included, obviously based on Jadon Sancho's appearances. Obviously of how Manchester United progressed in the Premier League and how Manchester United progressed in the Champions League. It did mention, there'd be around 30 or 40 million pounds in add-ons, so the deal would be worth around 100 million pounds, or maybe just a bit more than 100 million pounds. But Borussia Dortmund did recently say that they do want 108 million for Jadon Sancho, and throughout the course of this transfer saga regarding Sancho, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. We have said several times we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding. It did say the other week that we set our limit and we was only willing to pay £80 million for the player. It also said before that we was only willing to pay £50 million for the player. Reports came out from the German press last week saying that we allegedly had an £89 million bid turned down, but actually Manchester United had denied this. Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target, and he has been our number one priority target for a while. We first expressed our interest in the player back in 2017. Now, Sancho has endured 3 seasons with Borussia Dortmund, and I've got to say he has been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. Borussia Dortmund did pay around £8 million for Sancho from Man City back in 2017. Sancho has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. But his valuation has persistently grown, reflecting on his good run of performances. Now, Sancho did endure 2 years at Manchester City, but the main explanation why he left City is because he did not get assured any first-team opportunities. Now, it did say as well that Jadon Sancho visited our Carrington training ground during his time at Manchester City and all of that. But Borussia Dortmund's director recently came out. He's called Michael Zorg, and he said that he hopes Jadon Sancho can remain at Borussia Dortmund for next season. Now, I've outlined the reasons already why I want Sancho at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League, and he has got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, and he is predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United are in search for a right winger. If we do get Sancho on the board, then I think, Mason Greenwood will get put in a different role. Sancho, though, is only very, very young. It did say from the mainstream media yesterday that Sancho has got the choice of 2 numbers at Manchester United, and that is the number 7 and the number 11. I think, if we get Sancho on the board, he will be our next number 7. Because let's put into the equation, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Like I said, Fabrizio Romano, he's spoken about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga quite a few times. Christian Falk spoken about it the other week, and also too Simon Stone from the BBC spoken about it the other week, because we are still very convinced that we can get a deal over the line. Like I've mentioned before, it's Borussia Dortmund's asking price that seems to be the stumbling block. Obviously, it did say around 3 weeks ago now, is it, that Jadon Sancho's already agreed personal terms with the football club and he's agreed the contract. But it also said the same thing in February, that Jadon Sancho agreed almost every little detail of a move to Manchester United. But now we have got qualification for the Champions League. It increases our chances of getting the player on the board, because if we hadn't got Champions League qualification, then I don't think we'd have got, Sancho on the board. He did recently say that actually, Sancho's preference was a move to Liverpool over Manchester United. But it probably is going to be our first signing in this summer transfer window. We have looked at quite a few alternatives to Sancho. It said the other week we'd inquired about Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We inquired about getting him on loan if we don't get Sancho. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. Looked at Robin Matondo from Schalke before. We looked at Thiago Almeida. We looked at Ferran Torres, don't forget, at one point. Because I will admit, he is cheaper solutions than him. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund are now looking for replacements for Sancho. Because I think they've come to accept the fact that he does want to leave. They've recently been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They've also been looking at Jonathan Eacock from Lille. I think he's valued at around £41 million. They've also been looking at Rashika from Werder Bremen. But like I said regarding Dortmund, they've done very good recruitment in recent years. They got Jude Bellingham the other week from Birmingham. They got Erling Haaland in January. And that was 2 players that Manchester United missed out on. Obviously there's other players they've brought in recent years. They brought the likes of Julian Brandt in, Thorgan Hazard, Emre Can. But let's put into the equation, Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Don't forget they let Aubameyang go to Arsenal a few years ago. They let Pulisic go to Chelsea. That's 2 players they let go. Obviously, they let Ilkay Gundogan go. They let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. They let Mkhitaryan go. Did Dortmund. There's a few other players that they let go who didn't go to the Premier League. They let Dembele go to Barcelona. Of course, they let Matt Hummels go to Bayern Munich and that. But there you go. But I still believe, that we can get Jadon Sancho on the board. So possibly, we could have signed Jadon Sancho. We could sign Jadon Sancho on Friday. I think it did say that Sancho is expected to return to Borussia Dortmund training. Is it sometime this week? So anyway, that's the latest news regarding him. Now, I just want to give you some news regarding Chris Smalling. Now, I've just been reading recent reports. I think actually read it in The Sun. And it says that Chris Smalling is set to return to Manchester United this week. And he's set to miss Roma's Europa League games because Roma failed to extend his loan. Now, obviously, I think we've said that we want around 18 million to get rid of Chris Smalling permanently. I don't think, Roma are willing to meet this valuation. Now, obviously, Roma have inquired, about extending his loan for another season, then having the obligation to buy Chris Smalling. But I think Smalling did reveal a while back, that he does not want to come back to Manchester United. Of course, he joined Roma on loan last summer, did Smalling. I think Roma did pay around 2.7 million to obviously, get him on loan. Obviously, Chris Smalling still got a contract with Manchester United until 2000. Is it until 2022? Smalling, did enjoy a good, was it 9 or 10 years with the football club. I think we did get him from Fulham back in 2010 for around £12 million. So Roma will probably, try and extend his loan. This is what they try to do, pay probably around 2 or 3 million to extend his loan for another season, and obviously, have the obligation to buy, because there's no point Chris Smalling really coming back to Manchester United, because obviously, he won't get in the team. But we do need to, get rid of Chris Smalling permanently. So that is the latest news regarding him. Now, I just want to give you some news regarding Dean Henderson. So, reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made a decision regarding Dean Henderson, and he feels as though that Dean Henderson is not yet ready to become Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper. Now, obviously, we're set to recall Dean Henderson from his loan with Sheffield United. Dean Henderson, to be honest with you, has enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. I've got to make an admission, Dean Henderson has been Sheffield United's player of the season. He really, really has. And he's had quite a few other loan spells as Dean Henderson, with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. Like I mentioned before, we got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We got him at the age of 14, Dean Henderson. But there's been rumours saying that, Dean Henderson could possibly be our number one for next season. Obviously, Dean Henderson's got a contract with the football club at the moment until 2022. Don't forget there was reports coming out last week saying that, our contract talks with Dean Henderson have hit a crucial stage, and he said his future is going to be more clearer in the next couple of weeks. I think we're hoping to get Dean Henderson a 5-year contract at the club, and it did say, he could be one of the highest paid goalkeepers in Europe. Obviously, Chelsea still trying to get Dean Henderson. It did say the other week that Chelsea were willing to more than double his wages. They were willing to offer him 170 grand a week. Dean Henderson's current wages at the moment are like £70,000 a week, but obviously, Sheffield United have been paying the vast majority of that. But Solskjaer was talking about Henderson before our game against Sheffield United, and he said that he expects Henderson to be our number one and England's number one goalkeeper in the future. Obviously means the foreseeable future, because he don't feel as though he is ready as yet. But I think we should put Dean Henderson as number one next season. I think he has now got that experience behind him. Because obviously, David De Gea, Man United have been very, very critical of him. So too have a lot of Manchester United fans. David De Gea has been our number one goalkeeper for several years. This was David De Gea's 9th season at Manchester United. He is now approaching his 10th year at the football club, is De Gea. And he did recently say, De Gea, that he intends to stay at the football club for, several years. De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions. I think he's made around 300 odd appearances in the Premier League. But like I've said before, I think David De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years, he has been a liability, De Gea. He's been a liability. But Solskjaer was talking about him the other week, and he said, David De Gea has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. But like I've said before, David De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances. De Gea has been with us since the Ferguson era. We got him in 2011 from Atletico Madrid. We paid, was it around 17 or 18 million for him? But like I said, when David De Gea does leave Man United, I think he will go back to Spain. Obviously, back in 2015, De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to the fax machine, the deal never materialised. And last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal at the football club with around £375,000 a week. So like I said, that figure obviously made him the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, and the most highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and the highest paid at the football club. But, if we sell De Gea, we'll get more than 17 or 18 we paid for him from Atletico Madrid. Even if we was to sell him in the next couple of years' time, we'd probably still get around maybe 30, 40 million pounds for him. If we sold him in this summer transfer window, I think we'd probably get around maybe 60 million pounds for De Gea. But when De Gea was the best in the world, I think he was probably worth around 100 million pounds. So Solskjaer has got a goalkeeping decision to make. Sergio Romero, like I said, when Dean Henderson comes back to Manchester United, Sergio Romero will be our 3rd choice goalkeeper. I give you the news regarding Sergio Romero recently. It said that Romero is set to have showdown talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer regarding his future. Obviously, Romero plays in the cup games, and he's done very, very well in the cup games, to be fair, Sergio Romero. Romero's got a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. I think this was Sergio Romero's 5th season at Manchester United, because we got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. I think if we are to sell him in this summer transfer window, we'll probably want around 5 or 6 million for him, because Romero is now the age of 33 and all of that. So anyway, that's all the latest news on that. You obviously know the news regarding Alexis Sanchez. We have now set our asking price for Sanchez, and I think we've said that we want around, is it £15 million for him to get rid of him permanently. I think it did say Inter Milan are willing to pay, is it £9 or £10 million for him. Now, obviously it came out not too long ago saying that we rejected Inter Milan's loan plus obligation to buy for Sanchez for around, is it £13 million. We won't let Inter Milan extend his loan for another season. I just think we want to get rid of Sanchez permanently, to free up our wage bill completely. Because despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. We're still paying him like 300 grand a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000 a week. But Sanchez's wages at Man United are 400 grand a week, rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. And Sanchez has still got a contract with Man United until 2022. But definitely Inter Milan are interested in getting him permanently. Don't forget Sanchez is set to return to Man United. Is it on the 5th, the 6th or the 7th of August? I think it's the 6th of August set to return at Man United. But I don't want him back at the football club. And Solskjaer did recently say that he wants Sanchez to come back, but Sanchez is refusing to come back to Man United because Sanchez did endure a difficult 18 months with the football club. We got Sanchez back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal, and we thought Sanchez would have been an exceptional signing, but turns out he wasn't an exceptional signing. He failed to replicate what he did in his 3.5-4 years with Arsenal. He also failed to replicate what he did under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger at Barcelona. And there'd be no point Sanchez coming back anyway because he'd be a squad player, He wouldn't even get in the team. And Sanchez is now in his 30s. But to be fair, he's been in good form recently for Inter Milan. Obviously, he had a bad injury at one point and he was out with a dislocated ankle for like 3 months. But Inter Milan did get him on a 10-month loan last summer and that. So you do know the news regarding Alexis Sanchez. Like I updated you yesterday, you saw my video that I did it. This was coming from Calcio Mercato, and they said that Man United are willing to offer Chris Smalling and Alexis Sanchez to Inter Milan in exchange for Milan Skriniar. Whether this happens or not, I do not know. Yeah. But like I said, there's so many players on our agenda. And, to be honest with you, I'm very, very convinced that we can get the players that we want in this summer transfer window because obviously, we have got qualification for the Champions League. And I did say, didn't I, Champions League qualification was very, very important, for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. I think us getting qualification for the Champions League, I think we did get like an extra £70 million in revenue. Obviously, we finished third in the Premier League. So I've got to say, that's a very, very good achievement because let's put into the equation, this was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. And look how poor we was earlier on in the season. Earlier on in the season, we endured our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked. And you wouldn't have even thought for a second that we'd have finished third, the way we was playing early on in the season. You wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top 10. But, we've seemed to have rejuvenated ourselves since January, Since that 2-0 loss to Burnley at home at Old Trafford, we have really, really rejuvenated ourselves. We are unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. Don't forget, went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea beating us in the FA Cup semi-final. I was disappointed that we lost the FA Cup semi-final, because I wanted us to go all the way and win the FA Cup. But we still actually did well to progress to the semi-finals and that. But this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager and his second summer transfer window at the football club. Solskjaer's already revealed his plans for this summer transfer window and he's obviously said he wants to make at least 3 signings because he believes we need at least 3 signings, to become title contenders next season. It did recently say that Solskjaer was targeting around 5 players to overhaul the Manchester United squad. And so far, Solskjaer's made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million. But Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure that he wanted to make around, 9 signings at the club and all of that. He actually, agreed this with Mike Phelan. So Solskjaer's literally, told our board, to go and get his preferred targets, because he revealed his transfer plans after we got qualification for the Champions League, and he's actually, told the board to back him. We know our transfer budget for this summer transfer window has already been revealed. Solskjaer's got around £140 million to spend. Obviously, it did confirm before this. It did confirm after lockdown that, we'd taken around a £140 million loan to help us, get the players that we want in this summer transfer window. But obviously, our transfer budget will increase because we are going to sell players in this summer transfer window. We're going to get rid of quite a lot of players permanently. I think we're going to look to get rid of Jesse Lingard. I think we should get rid of Andres Pereira because obviously, Andres Pereira doesn't even get in the team now. I think we should obviously get rid of Sanchez permanently, get rid of Smalling permanently, get rid of Rojo permanently because he's out on loan at Estudiantes. I think we also need to get rid of Phil Jones. I think we need to get rid of Diego Dalot because I don't think Diego Dalot is good enough to represent Manchester United. He's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, but Diego Dalot's only made one start in the Premier League this season, and he had a few injuries earlier on in the season, did Dalot. Juan Mata, I don't think he'll leave in this summer transfer window. Juan Mata doesn't really get in the team now, but I still think he's had a very, very good career with Manchester United. This has been Juan Mata's 6th season at the football club. We did get him from Chelsea back in 2014 for just under £40 million. But I still think he's been a very, very good servant to the football club. I really, really do. Like I said, Solskjaer's made his decision, or he's going to make a decision on what players he's going to loan out. I think he's already made his decision, and I think it said we're going to loan, 4 youngsters out. Obviously, we're going to loan James Garner out because obviously, James Garner doesn't even get in the team. It says the likes of Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday, and Swansea want him. I think we're also going to loan Tahith Chong out, because Tahith Chong obviously, doesn't get in the team enough. Dylan Levitt, I think he's another player we're going to loan out. I think we're going to loan that Kovacic out as well, if I've pronounced his name right. I don't think he's played for the first team yet. I think we actually should loan Tuan Zebe and Foster Mensah out, because they're not getting in the team enough. Daniel James, we may not loan him out, but I think Man United should loan him out so he can, get more game time for next season, because obviously throughout the course of the season, well, the vast majority of the season, Daniel James, was playing a lot, wasn't he? He was getting a hell of a lot of starts, and he played around 30-odd games throughout the course of the season. It was his first season at Man United, Daniel James. But look, towards the end of the season, Daniel James wasn't getting starts. Mason Greenwood was getting there ahead of Daniel James. So decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he wants to strengthen up. Obviously, we're looking to get a striker in. We're looking to get a right winger in. We're looking to get a holding midfielder in. There's some Man United fans that don't think, we'll get a holding midfielder. We're looking to get a centre-half, and, despite the fact that we've got 7 centre-halves in the team, we're looking for someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line, quite clearly. I think we're in search for a left-back. Like I've said to you, we have got 2 predominant left-backs, and that's Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. And we've both had very, very good seasons. Obviously, Luke Shaw missed the first part of the season with injury. Then he came back and did well. And then obviously, he sustained an ankle injury towards the end of the season. And now Luke Shaw's out for the rest of the season. And this was Brandon Williams' first season in our senior squad. And I think, he has done very, very well in that. But these still areas, where Manchester United are definitely lacking. And one thing, Solskjaer did confirm is that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. Solskjaer still got a decision to make regarding contracts, because we've got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. But to be honest with you, we have extended a lot of players' contracts, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in to the football club. But I've definitely seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, I think he's promoted the youth very, very well throughout the course of this season. I think, to be honest with you, he should give more of the youngsters more youngsters opportunities, because some youngsters have found, obviously, game time difficult. Like I said, our record against the top 6 sides throughout the course of the season, was also very, very good. I think also too our recruitment's improved under Solskjaer, because like I said, we've been criticised for several years, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've obviously been criticised for overpaying for players and that. This is why being criticised for that. Obviously, like I said to you before, there's been a lot of problems at the football club for several years, and we haven't only been critical of the managers that we've had. We've obviously been critical of the club's ownership, the Glazers. We've been very, very critical of the board. We've also, been very, very critical of Ed Woodward and that. But definitely the recruitment's improved under Solskjaer. I think in some games throughout the course of the season, Solskjaer showed a lot of tactical flexibility, which was good. But on the other hand, there was a lot of games throughout the course of the season where Solskjaer was very tactically naive. So there you go. Some of his decision making were good, but some of his decision making were poor. So I have seen improvements under him, but there's still aspects of our game that I've got to improve. I think, we've got to keep the ball better. We need to be quicker on the flanks. Maybe we slightly need to be more clinical in front of goal. Defensively, we need to improve in that. So there is still improvements needed in the team. And I still think there's certain players that I've got to improve. But to be honest with you, a lot of players have improved since Solskjaer came in, especially the top players. Likes of Martial, we've got the best out of him under Solskjaer. He's enjoyed a very, very good season. He's been playing in that number 9 role throughout the course of the season. Pogba, didn't really have a perception on him, because obviously, Pogba was out with that ankle injury earlier on in the season. Towards the start of the resumption of the season, though, he did make an impact, did Pogba. Marcus Rashford, he's been much better under Solskjaer than he was under Mourinho. But obviously, again, earlier on in the season, Marcus Rashford was out with that back injury. So, yeah, he's getting the best out of the top players, which is good. And he's also got the best out of Luke Shaw. But, the top players enjoyed a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era and that. Like I've said to you, our focus now is the Europa League. We've got Lask on Wednesday in the second leg of the Europa League, last 16. We are 5-0 up from the first leg. So obviously, we are into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. The quarterfinal games are on the 10th and the 11th of August. Obviously, we either play Copenhagen or Istanbul Başakşehir. If we progress to the semi-finals of the Europa League, we play either Wolves, Sevilla, Roma or Olympiacos. But I think we are the favourites to win the Europa League. But if we win the Europa League, it will be our first piece of silverware under Solskjaer. And it will be our first trophy in over 3 years. But we're going to make rotation for the Europa League anyway. Solskjaer said he's considering resting several key players, because there's obviously some of our players who will be tired. Bissaka will be tired. He started the most of our Premier League games throughout the course of the season. Harry Maguire, I think he started all of our games in the league throughout the course of this season, or most of them, if not all of them. Lindelof has played a hell of a lot of games. I think we need to drop De Gea for the Europa League and put Sergio Romero there. Obviously, Luke Shaw's not available. He's out with an ankle injury. Tuan Zebe, I think, is out until September, so he won't be available. Jones has been out with injury recently. Eric Bailly is available because he's now back from that head injury sustained. Fred and McTominay, they should also get their opportunities as well. Lingard may get a chance. Pereira, may get a chance. Mata may get a chance in that. So he will make a lot of rotation. We are unbeaten in our last 9 matches against Austrian clubs. And we are unbeaten in our last 13 home games in the Europa League and that. But it is on Wednesday, that game, Old Trafford, 8 o'clock kickoff. 8 o'clock kickoff. Yes, it is in that. But like I said, next season, Solskjaer's got to exceed expectations. You know, I want us to be up there challenging for the title next season. I really, really do. Because this has been the 7th season now. We've failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. And we haven't won the Premier League since 2013 and all of that. But we've got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. We really, really have. Like you saw my video that I did recently. Can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be the next Alex Ferguson? You know, Ferguson did endure, 26, 27 years at Manchester United, and of course endured 22 years or 23 years of success because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Obviously, Ferguson won a total of 38 major honours. Obviously, since Ferguson retired, we have been inconsistent. Obviously, we've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho and that. So it just proves how inconsistent, we have been. And we spent 900 odd million pounds on players, in the last 7 years. So people say, reflect on the money we've spent, we should be where Liverpool are, or minimum, where Manchester City are. But obviously, we are not at the moment. But it is a long rebuilding process. It really, really is. Like I said, the vast majority of this team is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's been at the club now over a year and a half. But I still don't know if he's the foreseeable future for Man United. Of course, time will tell. Solskjaer has got that managerial experience behind him now, which is good. End of the day, he's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance and that. But, yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.